Hi everyone, this is the E-mini S&P 500 futures. I'm using a 2000 tick chart and a 21 EMA. I've got my overnight highs up here and my overnight low down here. These are our key levels for the day. And I started trading at 8 Central Time, which is this area up here. So starting off, I didn't like anything today, unfortunately. No trades, but I'm still going to go through this price action. So starting off, we got this uptrend forming right here. Notice I got off those lows, and at first usually I draw my highs off the bodies, but considering it was already breaking through right when I was starting, I extended it to the high of the wick just to see how it holds, and ended up holding pretty well. Not that this channel ended up lasting very long, but so anyway, starting off right here, we push up, we get that reaction off that high, and we start to move sideways here. Now, at this point, it's close to 8:30. We don't have our overnight high swing confirmed yet. We have this small push down here, and then it starts to go sideways here. But when we make this swing here, that's when it was clear that this was our overnight high level. And so anyway, we push on down. Now you can push into a failed second entry. You can just push on lower and get a failed second entry as long as you have room to these trend line right here, because you are pushing off the overnight high, you are forming it right there. So if you push into a reversal pattern, you can absolutely look to take it, which, for this uptrend right here, you would have uptrend, and if you formed a reversal pattern, the 2 legs up on that failed second entry would count as the 2 attempts at a new high for this uptrend. So it'd be like uptrend, break, and then 2 attempts at a new high, failure, where it would, fail down, and you're looking to get short anyway on the reversal pattern. So you can look for something there. You just need room to this trend line, but in this case here, it just doesn't form. We just push on back up. We close out of the overnight high at this point right here, and we start to, we just have a couple sideways bars before dropping lower. Now, unfortunately, there's no clear way to get short right here. Considering that this swing just formed our overnight high, and then that wasn't even strong enough to push us down and test this range low right here, is not a good sign for going short, especially when it immediately pushed up and actually closed out. So unfortunately, I did not like anything there, but we push on lower here. Now at this point, there's of course no room for a failed second entry before this trend line, and so you can't take that. But if it breaks out and actually breaks out of this trend line, then you can look for a bigger picture failed second entry. Now we start to form this trend down here. We have this channel going, and we break out of this trend line right here. So when this uptrend gets a break, you can expect prices to attempt a new high. So it's also since you're coming off the overnight high, there's going to be bears that want to reverse, and there's going to be bulls that want to make a new high. So you have to stick with what's most prevalent at the time. Now, if you push on down, if you have a clear push down, and then you get a couple legs back, forming a failed second entry. So I'm just going to do a quick draw here. So if you push lower here and get a couple legs back, forming a failed second entry, then those 2 attempts right there, these 2 legs up, would count as the 2 attempts at a new high for that uptrend. Now, obviously, price action levels get bigger as more time goes on, and it could reverse after that, and then just, the uptrend could be played out. But in this case here, it just doesn't even set that up. We don't get that reversal pattern. It ends up wanting to make a bigger picture attempt at a new high. Notice we have uptrend. This whole thing on a bigger picture is a break and then push to a new high. And so that's why I have this drawn out here, because there's a high chance of a reversal in this area, but it is quite slow today. The ES is very slow today, so I actually didn't mean to leave that on there. And so anyway, kind of got lost here. Sorry about that. Anyway, so we broke out. We didn't get that reversal pattern. Instead, we just quickly broke this channel here and started going sideways right at the EMA. And so very quickly, we pushed to a new low. So now we have downtrend, break, new low. And so this uptrend, we can still expect price to attempt a new high. And now that this downtrend is played out with a break to a new low, we're more likely to get that now. Notice how right when this downtrend played out, we immediately started getting 2 sharper legs up. Now, when we get these 2 legs up right here, there's clear resistance right here. You absolutely can look for a short, but it doesn't even reach it, which I'm going to remove this for now. I'll get to that in a sec. It doesn't even reach it. It just pushes down before even reaching those highs. And now you can look for some kind of lower high, because if it pushes down and it proves that it's actually moving down from that level, even though it's not off of that resistance, then yeah, you can look for a lower high, but it's just so choppy by the time you get one. You clearly have a lower high right here, but it's just 4 bars stacked up. and then by the time you get this next bar that has a tick higher, it's 5 bars stacked up. So 6 bar, no way. Unfortunately, no shorts there. I don't like that lower high. Now, when we push lower here, it's kind of easier to see. If I zoom out a bit, that this really does look like it's forming a trend down. Now, it's not perfectly fitting off those lows. It doesn't quite reach it there, and when I drag it there, it doesn't quite have that bounce from there. But clearly, it does look like it's going into this downtrend here. So, and I do want to back up for 1 sec. I forgot to mention something. So, after this had a push to a new low, it is common that price will have 2 legs at a new low, even after that first leg making that new low. And so these 2 legs back are a 2-legged correction between the second leg at a new low. And so let me redraw this here. Notice how after that break and push to a new low, after that attempt to reverse, which of course you can look for the short right there, like I said, it didn't occur, but it ended up working anyway and pushing into a second leg at a new low. So now you have downtrend, break, first attempt lower, couple legs back, and then second attempt lower. And so you can look for a long in this area here. Now, unfortunately, you don't want to enter right into that trend line. You unfortunately have that trend line right there, so you cannot enter right into that. And also, you do want to wait for it to get above the EMA. And the way that it reacts to this measured move here is not the best for going long. It does push up here, it closes back into the range, but it can't even get above the EMA for 2 bars. So I don't like that higher low right there. Even though it's closing back inside, it's right into that trend line, it's into the EMA. It's just unfortunately not very good. Now, when you do close out right here, considering it is breaking out at that point, it does look pretty bullish. I do think it looks all right to use a limit order. You'd still need your stop all the way down here. Just because you have these couple, you have a tick lower right there and a tick lower right there, it does not mean it's a safe place for a stop. Maybe for scalpers and stuff, but when you're going for bigger picture targets, you can't. You still got to use the full swing stop. So, at that point, you'd have to push your target way out of that resistance. So that is unfortunately not good for long, even though you do have downtrend, break, 2 measured legs to a new low, and then a pretty nice push up on that bar right there. Unfortunately, you have to push your target too far, and even with a limit order, you'd still be having to push it quite far out with a pretty steep limit order. So I don't really like that there. I mean, I would if there was more room, but unfortunately, there's just no way to safely take it. And so anyway, we start pushing on up. We just launched to a new high. And so this uptrend, now, if we had pushed up here and formed a nice failed second entry, we could have gotten in on this move to a new high. Like if it pushes up, it's pretty clear at this point right here, just when it's at the end of this range, that it's pushing up to a new high for this uptrend right here. And so you can look to get long on it. Now, unfortunately, a tiny tick lower right here is not good enough. That is not a very clear trade. I don't view that as any kind of trade. I would want to see a clear push out, a couple legs back, forming a failed second entry, getting a nice retest, but it just takes off and pushes up to a new high. Unfortunately, no trades for this whole day. I do also trade the NQ, so I'm going to be making a video on that right after this. But yeah, on the ES, unfortunately, I didn't like anything today. So yeah, I was thinking we could get a reversal pattern, but it's very slow. It's just kind of slowly chopping down here, going into this channel right here. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I hope it helped out in some way. I hope it helped out even though I didn't take any trades today. So yeah, y'all have a great one. See y'all next time.